Sara, she is just like you.
Since ancient times, many women, whether it was Joan of Arc, Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, or whether it was Razia Sultan, participated in war to defeat the enemy nation. There is a story and experience of a woman who belonged to the Chinese and Vietnam war time. She lost her brother. She was so devastated that she decided to take arms in her hand and became a warrior in command in her region. She joined the defense services and became a commander-in-chief in that region. Are you a woman who has taken arms because you want to take revenge on the enemy nation because of loss of your brother or husband? Are you a woman who, despite deep opposition from your parents, who want you to bear children and have a happy married life, but you have taken arms in your hands? Are you a woman who was completely supporting the soldiers and have taken the back seat in the form of a nurse, a doctor, or an engineer? Are you a woman with arms who has taken arms because of deep pain and anger to take revenge from the enemy nation? Are you a woman with arms? Today we have with us Wing Commander Chaudhary. Welcome, Mr. Chaudhary.
Thank you.
Why do you think women are joining the arms and the defense services?
Women are joining the armed forces because now that equality right, and they want to prove that whatever the men are doing, they can do. First thing is exciting career for them. Secondly, they want to fight for the equal rights and they want to show that they are not behind the men. Thirdly, it's an adventurous life and they have been inspired by Sunita Williams, Kalpana Chawla, and that is why they are joining the armed forces.
What about the conditions of women, of the past and now?
Yeah, now initially women joined and various branches like administration, and they were given not the combat duties, but slowly they started flying with the transport and helicopter aircrafts. Now they are flying the fighter jets also, and they would be going actually in the war. During the Kargil war, they have done a lot of helicopter missions and they are taking actual part in the thing. We tried because initially we were not having the women in the armed forces, but slowly as they proved themselves, there are more and more numbers and more avenues are open for them now.
Could you tell us any experience of yours which like you really felt that war is an evil, whether this side of the person or that side of the nation, whether this side Jack or the other side the Muhammad, it is eventually the loss of humanity.
Yes, after many both the wars which I fought, after that I realized, even I read some stories about the pilots who went mad because they had done the extreme damage to the humankind, and that is why war is not the only solution.
Yes, I remember the incidents of King Ashoka during the Kalinga war when he was fighting, on the battlefield, and he saw a lot of dead bodies and mothers and daughters crying and left alone. So he felt so much victimized and he felt so much pain at the loss of humanity that he resorted to dharma, and thereafter he became a very good person of civilization, and he developed many schools and communities and really looked after the mother and the children and really established a good order of the society.
Yeah, actually the war is not the only solution for all the problems. There can be the dialogues, peace talks, or we can respect each other's religion and we can remove the basic cause of the war. And that's why we can send the peace mission students program or exchange programs like that, and we can develop a good relation with the neighboring countries and avoid the war totally.
Like I remember a friend of mine, she was based in Boston. So she took up intercultural exchange program, and always she used to come on visit Pakistan, and like bring children to India, and have this kind of intercultural exchange, so that the conditioning which the older generation has faced of hatred, war and animosity is not passed on to the children, so that the children are like peace bearers of of today's world, of this future, so that they are not carrying that hatred and similar kind of animosity and insecurity which their ancestors had in them. So
I think you are right. We should avoid that passing on to the next generation. And with the globalization and understanding each other, I think we should avoid the wars.
What are the capacities in which women are joining the armed and the defense services?
Women are joining defense services in various capacities. One is the combat, second is non-combat. In combat, they are actually going for the war and they are fighting from the aircraft or from the ship or from the battlefield. And the non-combat is actually that they are helping, like the nursing forces or other auxiliary things, that services which are provided by engineers and other things. So they don't go actually onto the war, but they help the war scenario.
The Buddha has often said that we must kill the will to kill. So how would you really advise our youngsters who go through conflict at the individual level, whether it is in school bullying or whether it is fights in the neighborhood or the conflict between husband and wife, then what should be the approach?
To have a good culture, to train the children in that fashion, and thinking that the fighting is not the only solution, understanding the other person, homogeneous atmosphere and a peace, whose thinking will, I think, resolve this sort of fear of fighting or something.
So, Commander, that now that you are, a retired servant of the defense services, what is your view about war? Whether it should take place or it can be avoided?
During the war, which I have seen, a lot of lives, also injuries, and when we visit those soldiers and all, we feel that these wars can be avoided by peace and harmony talks. Even history says that when Ashoka saw the war, and after the war he felt so sorry for the people who lost their lives. And also, you must think that other side of the person is also having wife, son, daughter, and they are also human beings. So these wars could be avoided and we can have peaceful dialogue or peace missions and we can avoid the war.
Dr. Daisaku Ikeda has said that he himself, who witnessed the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki war during World War, has said that the 19th century was a century where military might reigned supreme. The 20th century was a century of industrial revolution and information technology. The 21st century, however, is a century of soft power. Whether it is conflict at the individual level, at the micro level, or at the macro level at the world war, it should be avoided and can be avoided. Women in general have a lot of sense of justice through which they can instill hope and courage in their men, be it their brother, their husband or children. And due to their soft persuasive power can avoid conflict and war at all levels. So when you become a woman who's armed with knowledge of self and is able to really connect to the other person, then you become peace bearers and not women with arms. Do log on to Sara, she's just like you.in and send us your views. We thank Mr. Chaudhary for coming on the show and for really sharing your valuable guidance and wisdom, which can be a great lesson for mankind to really avoid conflict at the individual level as well as at the national level. Thank you.